If you can see me on brand new to the show, NYC Club owner in the spot, Denise Temple, brand new to the show. All right, Abe, let's talk about it. NYC Club owner. What club you on? All right, thumbs up if you can see me on YouTube. Can't really move forward without that, so we just go on stand by and stand back, if you will. Let me know. Somebody that I know text me and let me know what if the go ahead is what the go ahead. Okay, I see the screenshot that it's not really live working on YouTube. Oh, so we're good to go. All right, there we go. John Watson, thank you, sir. All fun and games. All right, I see the numbers going up too. Okay, good. All right, we're back in it. Good to see y'all. Hey, let's start with the music again. How about that? For the new folks, let's start with the music again. It's my theme song. I like it. It's heavy. About to put some bars to it. Okay, I see my regulars. Good to see y'all. All right, we back. A little technical difficulty, not on my part, but hey, we're gonna keep it moving. All right, so like I said, man, this is what we do each and every Monday through Friday for the new people. It's trending topics, hilarious commentary, celebrity interviews, and interesting people. You never know who's gonna show up. You never know what we're gonna talk about. You just never know. You just need to tune in. I just ask if you see something, share something, man. Tell one person. That's all I need. We double our numbers. You tell one person. You ain't got to make no grand announcement. I ain't paying you to do no promo. Just tell one person and bring them to the show. That's it. If you got any questions about our sponsor, go to their website. This is our longest running sponsor right here, Drunken Fruit. It's adult candy. You send an email to inquiries@drunkenfruit.com. They send you the menu and the prices. What else? And also, this show is 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. $Lamont King 06. Anytime during the show, I hit a zinger punchline. Interesting, comment, something you learn, something you get a takeaway. If you get a takeaway, man, go ahead and slide us a loose dollar, man. You never know how I could help. Production costs and everything like that. And also content wise, if you just want to get a handle on all of the previous content, I got all the full shows and bonus clips at the Patreon. Patreon.com, Mr. Lamont King. Wonderful platform that allows you to subscribe to us on a monthly basis for the low. For the low. For the low. All right, what was I looking for? We had the little troubleshooting. We don't do no troubleshooting here. Let me type this in. See if I can find this clip that I just wanted to play before we get into our conversation, man. Yeah. All right, let's do this. Hopefully I don't get blocked. I'm sure they got some copyright claims or whatever. I just want to touch on this very quickly. Because a couple of these people is good peoples and friends of mine. I don't know if y'all watch the show on. I don't even know what the show is called. It's a show on Fox Soul Network, which I've been on, and they had like a little Chicago reunion on their show the other day. So they got co-hosts Selena Johnson, Lisa Ray, Claudia Jordan. It's one of the little late night talk shows on Fox Soul, which is an outstanding platform. But the other day was Lisa Ray. I think she's on there as well. And they tried to surprise Lisa Ray with her sister, the Brat. And it didn't go how they had intended it on going. And but there was a funny soundbite there was a moment in there in the conversation that produced a classic soundbite that you're going to be hearing over and over again. Because Lisa Ray'd, she showed up and showed out as she's known to do. All right, let's watch it real quick. Hopefully the replay value on this will be golden. And I'll be able to post this up later without them blocking, because they blocked my whole Go-Go show last week. And who knew Go-Go Songs was signed to labels? Had no clue. All right, let's check it out. Let's watch it together. So this is them bringing the Brat on. All right, so let me give you a little backstory, because you're not going to understand it in the middle. And we ain't got that kind of time. So the Brat recently got married, I believe. She recently came out and got married. Everybody knew who was a huge fan of the Brat. We all kind of knew over the years, when's the Brat going to go ahead and live in her truth? You know what I'm saying? So apparently that happened this year in 2020. But also, apparently, it comes out that Lisa Ray comes out. It also comes out that Lisa Ray was never in favor, or I can't say that because I don't know their relationship. But apparently, there have been some talks between them for many, many years about the brat status and living in her truth. And I think she took it some kind of way where, because she hadn't talked to her, according to her, in months, took it some kind of way where she found out the brat is living in her truth through the blogs. So they brought her on to say happy birthday. Lisa Ray wasn't having it. All right, let's take a look. That's the quick version. Let's watch together.
You good. I am glad that you are living in your truth. That right there, we've been talking about for years, and for you to just be so happy and so vibrant, that right there is a blessing to be able to stand in that. That right there is what I believe in. That's what I talk about. That's what I envision. And so for that right there, I would say, have at it. And I love you. Like, yes. I appreciate you coming out and verbally saying happy birthday to me this kind of way, because I damn sure ain't heard from you in months.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so you guys are both celebrities, and a lot of times the problem, that's why I'm not trying to say that much, is other people making shit worse and saying stuff. I think y'all needed this moment and to say
good.
what y'all have to say.
Good attempt
at the end of the
day. I would say thank you, Queens, for allowing and making it happen, because I'm not sure how long it would have been. It's been like what, almost like since what, December or something like that.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here now.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all. Y'all don't know shit at all. She do, you do, you do.
Well, this okay. Awkward. Okay, where this fucking surprise at? Who knew that the surprise was gonna go all the way fucking left?
I'm appreciative. I thank you, and all of that.
There's clearly you're hurt, Brad. We appreciate you coming on.
Oh yeah, I'm hurt.
Right.
I'm trying to fake it. None of that. I'm not trying to do any of that. Oh yeah, I'm hurt.
No one's trying to make anything.
But you know what? I'm strong. I'm strong. It's all good. Whenever it comes back around, it comes back around. Because I got shit going on. She got shit going on. Y'all got shit going on. Shit is going on.
You know what?
All right, so there's the bulk of it. I'm sure there's a lot that happened before and after, but that's really the meat of what you need to see. A couple things here, man. That's a lot. We got to dig into that. So apparently, thanks for the peanut gallery, Imani said that she didn't want her grandmother, who was heavy in the church, to get ridiculed in church. And when she died, she came out, right? But, of course, there's probably been some little sibling issue between her and Lisa Ray where they haven't talked in a while. And so, Lisa Ray took it personal. I don't really do gossip, y'all, so let me work through this. I like Lisa Ray's reaction, and I like the brat's reaction. Apparently Lisa Ray was having an issue because they haven't talked, and then I got to find out about something we've talked about over the years, over and over in the blogs, and I appreciate that. So F y'all surprise. So I like Lisa Ray's reaction because it was genuine. Like, you got to imagine, what would you do in that situation when you get that surprise in public on the spot? And you got to get something off your chest. You're not going to, be all courteous and use decorum or whatever, especially if you ain't got none. And we seen her throughout her career. She went straight to Diamond Players Club. Everybody out the motherfucking dressing room. Like, she went right there. But here's the realness. And this is why I love black people, man. Here's the real part. Let's walk back through it. Vivica tried to smooth it out. Claudia tried to smooth it out. Selena tried to stay out of it. But none of that. Lisa Ray wasn't trying to hear none of that. And here's the real part. Let's go back one more time.
I'm not trying to say that much. Is other people making shit worse and saying stuff. I think y'all needed this moment and to say what y'all have to say at the end of the day.
I would say thank you, Queens, for allowing and making it happen, because I'm not sure how long it would have been. It's been like what, almost like a.
I look at everybody's face.
Baby, no more.
Vivica trying.
And I don't give a fuck what y'all saying.
Ooh.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all. Y'all don't know shit at all.
Look at everybody's face.
She do, you do, you do.
Silence for like 3 seconds. That's when this shit is real. All right, let me pause. All right, this is what I appreciate about the brat. All right, black people. That was real. That's a real moment. That's a real family moment right there. Many of us, if not most of us, have been in that situation. When you get put in your place and checked publicly by a family member, when you are or were wrong, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Nothing. That is the essence of the Black family experience right there. When have you ever, not never, seen Brat in a position where she's absolutely stumped and speechless? Very vocal, very assertive personality, not short on words, a rapper, very talented artist, cool person. And her sister is like, don't say shit because you ain't got shit to say. She was completely silent in this entire clip. And I can appreciate it. I ain't even being petty or messy. Like, that was a real moment right there. That was a real family moment right there. Bravo to Mr. Clark. Say bravo to the director for the close-up. Let's go back to the close-up. Let's take a look at the close-up. Because, yeah. Let's see, where was it? When did it arrive? Oh, we got that one. That's the best. Oh, man. Yeah.
At all.
At all.
She do.
She do.
You do. You do.
Everybody silent. Don't nobody know what to say.
Well, this
okay.
Brad's shaking her head. Look, she's shaking her head, but it ain't really much you can, you know what I mean? Ain't really much you can do. That's a hard TV moment. That's a classic TV moment right there. Like, and they all friends. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me hit our guest real quick. All right, let me take that out of there. So there's that. So you're gonna be hearing Lisa Ray say that. Or you're gonna be seeing that memed. I enjoyed it. All right, let's get our bringing our guests, because you know what we got to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, man, and we just got to get to it. So y'all stand back and stand by. Let's see here. Y'all stand back and stand by. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, check your email. It's right there. So, elephant in the room. Elephant in the goddamn room. Did y'all see this tomfoolery last night? Wait, you know, I told y'all yesterday I wasn't trying to watch the Jumps. And I took a nap. It was one of those kind of days. And I said, you know what? It's my civic duty. And I got to be a responsible broadcaster. And I got to at least watch the first 2 minutes. That was my goal, right? At least watch the first 2 minutes. So I started watching the first 2 minutes, and we're talking about the presidential debates, if you couldn't figure it out already. So I watched the first 2 minutes. And when I tell you, I got absolutely drawn in by ignorance and foolishness. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. There are actually no words that I could even, not by myself anyway, come up with. So let me just go ahead and expedite this and welcome to the program. Let's go live with India Sweet, ladies and gentlemen.
What's happening, Captain?
What's good with you? Oh, that's a nice setup.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a nice setup. So here's the thing. Now let me slow walk this. Did you do your census?
Normally I do.
Because you're like super patriot. You're like super citizen.
I am. But this year, going into it, knowing when they were shutting down polling places, and I felt like they were using the census for nefarious reasons this year, and not for the betterment of people. Because how do you know where to gerrymander? And right now that these people are in charge, the line rigging is so outrageous, and I felt like that was going to give them another way to go down this block and move over here and do this and do that. And so I did not. I say all that to say no, I did not.
Okay, you're very bold, because I'm not going to say publicly whether I did or I didn't. But I have questions, right? They really push Black people to do it.
Yes.
And to self-identify. And my questions arise The commercials, make sure you do the census, man, because
Yeah.
our communities need the money and we don't want to get missed out on 300 million in funds. Is the money allocated to community based on race? I asked somebody that. They told me no. I was like,
I believe it's supposed to be on income.
Do you put income on the census? I opened it up and I didn't read the whole thing.
Line.
Wait a minute, your G's. Your G's. Yeah, get your G's back. You ain't got no G's.
I ain't got no G's.
You ain't got no
I
G's.
should.
Your G's is in and out. You by the window.
I know, but it don't mean anything up in here. Is that better?
For right now.
Right now.
I had to ask somebody that worked for the government. I was like, them commercials make me seem like I got to fill it out so I can get money for the Black community. Then I was like, is that how money is allocated based on the census by your race? And they were like, no. And I was like, well, what's with the commercials? Second piece is there's some things on there that and I worked for the census in 2010. I was a supervisor, so I'm kind of cynical about it anyway.
Yeah.
Just from that experience, and I was with them for almost 6 months. But just the racial, there's no room for biracial. There's no bubble for biracial. What if I'm biracial? What if they have a specific type of Latino? What if I'm the other kind of Latino? What if I'm the Mexican Black, but I identify as Mexican? It's so much.
You can only do one bubble.
For the Spanish one, it's like you either Puerto Rican, you Cuban or something else. I can get it. It's in the other room right here. And then but here's my real question. This is what I want to throw at you, right? Because I be having weird thoughts. People that know me. I was like, I have really been. I went down a rabbit hole a couple of years ago. I was watching YouTube of the people. There was this group that said we should identify on change our status to white because of the loose language that they use to describe white on official government documents. We all, in a way, could fall under it, right? And since Black has no standing at law, you'll get civil protections that you wouldn't get as a Black person, apparently. There's I'm super scaling it down, but that's basically, that's the gist of it, right? So I was really entertaining checking white.
Okay.
But
can you see me? Am I frozen or can you see me?
No, you're good right now. You're good right now.
All right.
And I was like, man, watch I check white trying to be on some head of the curve type. And then this the year that they give out reparations based on what you put on your census. And then I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger.
They're reparations. That's as far as something that somebody's going to give out. But I don't trust them. I don't trust them right now. It's terrible.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even think about the correlation that you just made.
Yeah.
About the lines and all.
The gerrymandering, it's out of control. It's really out of control. And it's like, how do they know to shut down a specific polling place where 600,000 people have to vote?
You're going in and out. Jeez. We might have to get you on the phone, chat. Yeah, your G's. What you want? What you want? You on a desktop? Is everybody on devices over there? Is there, what? Is you on wireless? Is you on a router? Oh man, that's fun. Now that face is funny. All right, call me. Cause this ain't going. I need your insight. Let's try this another way. She had the new studio rocking and everything. All right, y'all stand back and stand by. Don't trip.
I'm trying to come back on. I shut everybody down.
Yeah, but your last picture was froze. This your face right here. I can't even. Oh,
look, I know.
I couldn't even put. Don't worry about it.
It was rough.
We seen you. Now we got the memory. No, but I didn't even think about that. My whole thing was, just picking it apart from a standpoint of them trying to know where everybody at. Like that's how I feel. In 2010, that's how I learned how they track gentrification. Point blank. Period.
Yeah.
I learned that from being on the inside. That's how they track gentrification. No other way.
Yeah.
You pretty much give up your location, and they know where you at. They know what it's going to look like in 10 years based on, the moves that they make in these major cities. And after 10 years, they track again to see what the moves that they made, what effect they had.
Yeah.
So I've always been skeptical and paranoid, but this time I was really going to check white. And I was like, and who going to correct me? And I said, this would be the year. This would be the damn year where they hand out reparations and they be like, but you gotta, you gotta be officially classified.
So much the L for everybody else?
Huh?
You don't want to take the L for everybody else? I mean, everybody else would be good. I mean, I'd be willing to split for you if you took that.
I'd do that. I would do that. Today is the last day. That's why I brought it up today. I think today is the last day. So I'm not saying that I did nor did. I just want to say.
Yeah, I've kind of gone on record, and I actually, because I voiced this opinion not so long ago, I kind of put it out to most people on my feed to see what they, had to say, because normally I do it, but not this year.
Okay, there's a one of our viewers from the Peanut Gallery says, Black is a protected class and resources are allocated based on local what? That was the end of that. But I don't believe, so this is me. I don't believe Black is a protected class. I really don't. You can throw at me all the legalese you want and all the explanation. I believe on a subversive level, underneath the surface, we are not. So, and I give y'all this ain't Conspiracy Wednesdays, but next time we have an incident, a national incident, and the victim is a Black person, listen to how they describe it on your news, national and local. Just remember what I said. Listen to how they describe the victim, especially if it's a police officer or a white assailant. Listen to how they describe the Black victim, and that will we'll talk about that later. Take notes, and we'll come back and I'll further explain how Black has no standing at law in America. All right. Anyway, moving on. So last night, the moment we was all dreading and waiting for happened. Man, that debate was the wildest television I've seen in a long time. And it was upsetting, it was heartbreaking, disappointing, maddening, and just unfortunate all in one fell swoop. I watched it from beginning to end. And was kind of mad at myself. I was like, because I told myself I was going to watch it. Wasn't going to watch it, but I couldn't pull away. And did you see the beginning?
When they came out on the stage?
I mean, just the beginning of it, how it started.
Yeah. I mean, I was on coverage an hour before, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm I had to be reminded on Twitter that, I gotta not get beside myself and act surprised because he did the same thing to Hillary. And I think a lot of people, somebody on Twitter says, y'all just mad because he did it to another white man.
And that's what I'm saying. And I was going, go ahead. I'm going to wait because I have something to say about that. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is true. It just looked crazy. I mean,
it didn't. Not as crazy as Hillary. He cased Hillary. He walked around her. He made sure he stood in every shot. Every time he glared over her shoulder, he couldn't even get within 6 feet of Joe. He just kept interrupting him. But he invaded Hillary's physical space. To me, that should have been more outrageous. Last night, he was just his Twitter feed out loud. Like, I don't really know what everybody was expecting. Like, This is how he talks like he tweets. So what, I was confused. I talked to a few people beforehand, and I'm like, this is what you're going to get. They're like, oh, it's going to be this. No, it's not.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to be. He has nothing to stand on, so he's got to rah, because if he starts talking, he's going to get in trouble.
Yeah, but so there was no clear winner in only the fact that he lost, if that makes sense. There's no clear winner, but the fact that Trump was such an ass, like it even made people that really are into him like just look some kind of way at I mean, every anchor. There was one analyst who really, I'm like, what were you watching? Chris Christie. I would watch ABC7 with Stephanopoulos and the other the sister on there, I forgot her name. And Chris Christie, what's her name?
Robin Roberts.
No. In the evening, she got braids. She's like a political analyst, but I keep forgetting to look for her name.
Yeah, okay.
But she be on point. But Chris Christie is like, he's like trying to convince that he did a good job, and I was like, what were you watching, fam? Like that party line shit is like you gotta turn that off.
It's not even party line. It was Chris Christie and Giuliani that helped him.
That helped him. He said that.
So I mean, what else do you like? That's what he did. That was his job. And
he came out. He admitted. He said he didn't do what we worked on. That's what he said. That was the first thing that he said. He said he didn't do what he worked on, but then he backed that up with, Biden wasn't strong either, which he wasn't. Now, Biden. Let's talk about Biden.
I want to know how he wasn't, but okay.
How he wasn't what?
How he wasn't strong.
Who, Biden?
Yeah.
Hey, man, that man about to fall over. Biden sounds sick. Don't nobody want to say it. He sounds sick.
How? First of all,
he sounds exhausted.
How many times have you been on stage and you have had debating certain things of substance? Not radio, when we talk stuff, we have our stuff in front of us. Where you are up there, you have nothing but your wits and everything that you've taken with you. How often have you done that?
Often, but he sounded exhausted. He didn't sound like himself.
When did he get a chance to talk?
When he talked. When he talked
So you mean to tell me, even the most, I don't care if you've been up there on the stage, you have to understand when you do political debate prep, this takes weeks because you're not just answering about COVID. You're answering about Black Lives Matter. You're asking about the economy. You're being asked about foreign policy from Iran to Brazil to China to national security.
No. Not his skill. I'm not questioning his skill. He executed his 6 months of practice
all of that,
very well.
All of that goes together. But what I'm saying is, first of all, he's not young, and we all
no. That's what I'm saying, and that's why this was so bad and hard to watch.
Completely okay with that because of who he has. Like, I'm sorry. He's still better than what we have.
Yeah, sure, but it was still bad and hard to watch. He sounded exhausted.
I don't know. Joe always is a slow talker. He's not as slow as Barack, but he's always been a slow talker.
Man, the man was wheezing.
He was not.
That man was wheezing. It was a train wreck clusterfuck inside of a shit soup sandwich.
You have a man that in his head, all he had, when he kept trying to be on point, his brain kept going, I cannot tell this man to shut the F up.
But he did though.
Let me go. No, he said shut. I mean the whole curse.
Yeah.
I'm not talking just saying shut. I'm talking about going full in and saying, you know what? Let me take you back out beside the gym, outside behind the gym, behind the bleachers. Isn't that what he said he wanted to do before? And we really had some damn old man fights. Like, I think that's where his brain kept wanting to go, but
it caused him. But if you're training, your training is you know what your opponent's going to do. And he kept, towards the end, he kept letting them bait him in and getting him off his square. And it was really showing. And Chris Wallace need to be ashamed of himself. That was a bad job. That was a completely bad job. And I think he was not expecting that because I guess they're friends and he works for Fox.
No, they're not friends. Chris Wallace has always been rather tough on 45. Because Chris Wallace is a conservative.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. He is, but he does not like Trump conservative. Like, he wants his party back.
Right. But he's a weak moderator is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, he was definitely a weak moderator.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hands down. But to be honest, I don't know who in that position. The only thing where he really pissed me off is when he kept saying, well, Mr. President, you'll be happy with this question. What?
Yeah, right.
Happy? This is not a time for you to be happy with somebody's question that you're giving to. Like, what are you saying? Why are you coddling this infant who is disrupting and, just respecting this entire process. Don't do that. No.
I feel like it was everybody was really trying to figure it out on the spot because it was just unfamiliar territory, like just the disrespect for protocol, decorum, and procedure. He was running scared. 45 was running scared. And at many points in times, but I didn't like the one thing, like you said, that was the one thing that bothered you. The one thing that bothered me was Chris Wallace. He had 6 segments. He said, I got 6 questions. These are my own. I was very impressed with the questions that he asked. I didn't think he was going to go there because normally outside of Gwen Ifill, they never do. So when he said, we're going to talk about race, I sat up. I was like, okay. And then he said, I'm going to ask a question, but if you want to answer another question, because he had already lost control by then. If you want to answer another question, feel free, go ahead. And I was like, what? You ain't say that about no other topic. So I was like, all right, I'm going to still say plugged in. When they got to that turning point moment, when they start double teaming Biden and Chris Wallace and about white supremacy, which is now an iconic moment, and the man started stumbling and couldn't look in the camera and condemn white supremacy and by name Proud Boys, and then stand back and stand by.
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't an accident. That wasn't no gaffe.
No.
That wasn't a whoopsie, a oops. Like
then he gave him direction after that. Then Then he said,
I'm urging all of my people at the poll.
All my people, when you go to the polls, not going to vote, go watch.
Yeah.
Go stand there, make sure that was the direction.
Wait a minute, because I got to find this audio. That necessarily wasn't, because he gave a direction before that got cut off. The first command wasn't watch. He said, I urge all my people to get out there. And then Biden was like, and do what? And then Chris Wallace tried to change the subject and asked him again. He said, what are you insinuating? He asked him, and then he deflected. And then he came back to watch the polls, make sure the polls are, legitimate and safe. He was about to say something else. Like they had got him riled up where he was about to really let the cat out of the bag. And so to that point, the stand back and stand by, right? You got to do your own. Y'all got to do your own Googles, do your own research on who he's talking to and who he's talking about. But I say that to say I wanted to talk about this today because there are still. I woke up today and on my timeline I didn't get the usual Blacks for Trump. I got like 3 or 4 of them that I'm connected to, and I see the things that they say. I didn't hear or see the usual chatter from them today. And some of them still bold enough to be like, my man won and all of that. But I'm like, yo, how is your brain wired when you're literally watching, a play being called in front of you by somebody who thinks it's for you, but it's not. And he's calling the play against you. And I'm talking to all the black people that voted for him because I know there are a couple watching. I know them personally. That voted for him because I got a small business and financially he put me in a better spot. All that other shit. When these people, when he's literally commanding these people to tool up and get ready to engage you, like what is your thought process? And I hit one of them. Me and you, we know we have a mutual one, and I talked to him earlier.
You said what? Is it the one we know?
Yes, who's been on the show before. And his rap was, I was like, did you see that last night? He was like, man, America, man, are we for America? And I was like, why? He was like, man, we've reached new lows. And I was like, new? He was like, yeah, man, the way they were going back and forth. And I said, but you still riding? And he was like, he's still a better choice than Biden. That's what he told me today.
Oh my God.
And I said, you can't be serious. And I said, what you mean new lows? Your man has been talking like this. He was talking about the belligerent back and forth and the hostility that was on display. He said, I said, your man has been displaying this for 4.5 years, every day straight.
Every day.
How is this a new low because Biden clapped back and was out of etiquette and discourteous in a debate. How are these new lows? Because both the white guys, the old white guys, is talking reckless. You were fine when it was your guy, but now the other guy,
which he did all night,
the entire night,
all night. I mean,
but now America's in bad shape because the
thing when people say when Biden went low, no, he didn't. Because if he wanted to go low, honey, he would have went to those kids.
And that was so amazing. The level of restraint was so amazing and unfortunate, because I was like, now is the time you could do that and people will give you a pass.
Yeah.
He could have went down the list. I mean, Donald Trump Jr. was on ABC 7. He led into the debate, coked out of his mind.
Yes, I mean, 12 lines to the sky every time you see
coked
him
out of his mind.
Type of outlet.
When Biden almost, because Donald Trump was like, your son is that your son, and he was like, which one? Biden was like, which one? Because he was like, nigga, I know you not about to talk about my dead son on this stage. Mm-hmm. It almost, but the restraint was amazing, and I mean that can go both ways. You can say that's the level of restraint we need from a commander in chief. And then you could be like, no, man, you supposed to. That was your opportunity to smash him.
You could have, but right now, I want to return to civility. Like we have to start someplace. You know what I mean? Like we really, really do. And this is so disheartening because normally I would have made my children stay up and watch it like my mother did with me. You know what I mean? I remember the Dole years and and Clinton. I remember way back, I was a little girl that my mother would make me stay up and watch these debates because she thought it was important. But last night I knew what it was going to be. I was like, nope, go ahead and go to bed because I don't want you to see this. And I have to think at some point we have to turn the corner to say we have to do better, because what I like that Joe did last night, it was like, he kept trying to go about Hunter. He was like, yes, like millions of Americans, my son had a drug, a drug problem and an issue.
Like that.
And he overcame it. He's like, and I love my son and I'm proud of my son.
Yeah.
I am proud of him. He didn't try to hide it. He didn't try to whatever. And especially with the opioid crisis in this country right now, the last thing you need to be doing is trying to shame somebody for their drug habit that they, worked hard to come back from and to clean. And this is this man's last living child. Like, we know you trash 45, but like, dog, like seriously, you know what I mean? Like you say, the jugular could have been your children, and how Jared Devonka made almost $100 million last year. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, he could.
So let's not do that.
Yeah, and I feel like those things would have been facts, like easily researchable, and he could have just dropped those out, the morsels. He could have just morseled them out, and still been within the bounds of fighting fair. But he just, I guess he was, trying to stay on what they practiced and what they trained on, which was delivering to the viewers at home, which I think he did very well. Drowning out the noise and delivering to the viewers at home. I just think he got frustrated in the end. Throughout, he got frustrated at points and was like, he just let that hostility that was in the room get the best of him. But just, man, those blacks, those people that we know, the blacks, man, the blacks for Trump and all that. I can't even put the words together. And how you can see that and still think that, that's not going to affect you. Like, you're not exempt from that.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid.
The Kool-Aid. Hey.
Yeah. No,
and just and to be like, well, he's still a better candidate and all this. And I'm like, even in 2016, I'm a registered independent. For me, it's not about party. And I've said this for years and years and years. Like, you won't be able to run take back and see me saying something different. My issue in the beginning was like, he's going to awake a sleeping giant in America.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that sleeping giant is that body of people, that mass of people who hate folks that look like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's going to give them the keys, regardless of policy and financial and all that. People are thinking he is their savior to protect their whiteness.
Yeah.
And they're coming back to get it. And I'm like, if you are a person who looks like me and you riding and rooting, when he flips that switch, you got to go too. Like they're not gonna stop on the street and be like, you know, how'd you vote the last election? It's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be that.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that I have. And another thing to that other point, and they're literally right now advocating violence. Like I've been watching some of the videos today. They're just advocating violence. They like, now's the time. We got the call.
Yeah.
And people on social media, black folks, you know, try Jesus, don't try me, and all that. Everybody's hardcore. And I'm like, man, knock it off. Like, if you're not training, 2A training, or buying ammunition right now, then all that is talk. All that is talk. Like I saw someone very intelligent and very high up in local government said civil war is coming. And I ain't really no doomsday preacher, but like he's really trying to kick it off in front of you.
Yeah, he is.
He's really just trying to kick it off in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is what we're left with. Like buddy of mine sent me a text and he was like, man, never there is no other industry in America, no job, no career field where we're sitting biting at the bit, celebrating, applauding, and rooting for two 80-year-old white men to you know, to take the top job. Like, no, there's no other job at your office, at the school. There's no other job where you like, yeah, 78, yeah, he could do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your church, nothing. Ain't none. This is the only one. Two old rich white men arguing for the top position in the world.
Yeah, well, that term "rich" is, you know, how are you using that term?
Well, they got more than the rest of us.
Yeah, maybe.
They got more than the rest of us.
Just because they were lent more doesn't mean they have more. I mean, you know, that just means you in the hole for more and you're going to get got for more when you don't pay up. So that's a whole other, which I don't understand how they did not hamper on last night. You know, who do you owe the money to? To me, that would be the end of every question. And when I would answer it, who do you owe the money to, Donald? Who do you owe the $421 million to? Because you owe it to somebody. That is, to me, one of the most important things in this election. Yes, he started a civil war, but at the end of the day, we'll get them. I'm not really worried about those little punks. But who, if he's in power and who he's selling out this country to, I mean, that's real.
Yeah, but that's the point. So that's not just one group, and it's not just a few little punks. There's a mentality that has been awakened. Just because he talked to them directly, he's talking to everybody else too.
Yeah.
So
there is, but most are scared. Most are not. You have those Proud Boys out there, but most will talk a big game. But when it comes time for it, they ain't about that life.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the other layers. I'm talking about your doctor, person serving your food, the police officer that pulls you over next time. I'm talking about. I ain't talking about just the actual militia group. Just the individuals. Well, I mean, I'm talking about that mindset.
Already been though.
Sure.
That's already is right now. We're there.
That's true.
We're there. So that's why I'm saying with that point, we're already here. We got, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
That has changed our world forever, for better or worse.
Yeah, but now to the money part though, Chris Wallace let a lot go, because when they asked about the $750, when they asked about the tax return, he's like, yeah, but I also paid millions in other taxes, and then they just let that go. They didn't press that.
No,
you'd be like, you should. First question is like, what you mean? Which ones?
Yeah,
he's like, will you show your taxes? Yeah, I sure. Yeah, I sure. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they led with the Supreme Court, because I just knew they were going to lead with taxes. I mean, I just knew, especially when, you know, you're trying to talk about defunding the police. And that was another perfect thing for Joe. Defunding the police. I've been paying to help pay the police. Have you?
He explained that very well. Have
you? You know, it's certain things that you can get in there, and that, you know, they're missed opportunities, that and Herman Cain. But again, he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I think to maybe get a more substantive debate, it's going to have to be Kamala and Mike Pence.
Well,
you know,
now that's what I was going to ask you. That's obviously going to be better. But it's like, I don't even know if I want to watch it now because I'm like, what is y'all on? I mean, it's just circus and theater right now.
Well, Mike Pence is not a showman like
Right.
45, so he's going to have to come up with something other than that monolithic tone and just all the whiteness that he brings to the table. So it'll be interesting. And Kamala knows how to handle, old white men who think they try to yield some power over her. She's had a number of years in the Senate. So I think it'll be interesting. He's not going to cut her off, so they're going to have to bring something to the table.
I definitely think he will try to cut her off because she's a female of color, and I don't think they respect that. He already what do you say? Here's some beef for you. Remember, I got the meat for you. Here's the
I don't know. I'm going to have to be really leery of how he, especially with her being. I think it's going to be interesting from his perspective. Now, if you were talking about 45. Yes, but I don't.
Well, I saw Pence in a very in-depth sit down interview on 7 ABC with Lindsey Davis or whatever, and he didn't answer any questions.
Yeah,
I was like, wow. She was asking him direct questions. He asked about, do you think there's an issue of police brutality? He went straight to black on black crime, straight to it. Didn't even answer.
The good thing with Kamala is she's quick enough and she'll catch it. You know what I mean? Like Joe had to stay focused on just, not slipping. So not breaking a hip. But when she's out there, she'll be time enough for him if he's not answering questions or they're dodging it. So that's why I feel like that one will be,
Yeah, that's going to be must-see TV. I think people are really laughing at us. Like,
oh, no, they are.
All over the world.
They are. I have friends from Germany. I have friends from London. I have friends in Canada, and they're all writing me. I mean, like, seriously. And they're just like, what is going on? And yeah. In South America, where, I mean, you can get any disease just walking down the street. They're sitting up there looking at us like, yeah, I don't want to come there.
And I was trying to do some research earlier that I can't remember if it was Venezuela or Peru, where they had the issue of a presidential elect. They had two presidents because one it was Venezuela.
Yes,
they had two for like a year and a half, and they had rival factions fighting in the street, and then one president just would not leave.
Yeah,
and then the other one was like, "But I won."
Crazy story. When that all really started and the president died, the president that was there died, and it turned into this whole thing. Michael was down there playing basketball, and he immediately, the people were like, you got to go. And they put him on a plane, and he was gone because they knew that all of this. So this has been going on for a few years now, and it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I bring that up because I'm like, I feel like that's where we're headed. I feel like that's where we're headed. If the numbers, if it's not a landslide day of, he ain't leaving. He ain't leaving.
I'm kind of at the point that I don't even know if it is a landslide, if he'll still leave. You know what I mean? Mm. Like, at this point, I think the writing is on the wall. Regardless, I kind of do. And, he's the president, and that man knows a lot. If you look at the transition of power, the last time Barack Obama shook Trump's hand as they were sitting in the Oval Office, and after I was watching it on something, and I had to pause it, you could see on Obama's face as he turned away the heaviness that he knew of the job that was getting ready to land on this man. And his face, it almost looked like it aged in that split second. It's really, really crazy. And to know all that he knows, and to know that he does not know how to hold water, and him leaving that office, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
All right. Well, I guess we got to leave it right there. I just put the full transcript from last night's debate. So if you want to see in written word form, it's in the chat right now, the full thing. India Sweet, I appreciate you as always.
Thank you, sir.
With the breakdown of the breakdowns. Talk to you next time.
Later.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we could really talk about that for hours and hours. There's so many layers to it, so many things that are going on associated with it. The peripherals, the the auxiliary, just everything that's going to happen from it. And I saw there was Tony Baker. Tony Baker said he made a tweet today. Well, he tweeted today. He was like, "Man, it's wow how temporary politicians can cause permanent damage among family members." And I was like, "Now that's real. That's real." I was gonna make that the tweet of the day, but I couldn't find it. I just remember seeing it. But yeah, temporary politics. We let temporary politicians ruin permanent family relationships. And because for me, and I saw Kenny, I saw your comment earlier about how do you talk to those people who are that way, and it depends on friends and family. Everybody has different viewpoints and all that, but I think this is different. This ain't like it used to be, where you could be like, "Oh, Chris votes Republican, ha ha he he." I think back in the day it was different. I think it's just a different energy now, where it's like now, if depending on what side you on, like people really just size you all the way up. They really give you a whole character assessment, belief system scrutiny, and all of that based on, what's going on in the country today. And it's unfortunate. I don't think it's ever been like this. I don't think it's ever been like this. So we shall see. We got some time. I didn't want to spend the entire show talking about politics or the debate, but it was so surreal last night. And it was so sad that it was all you could do was laugh. But yeah, it was shit soup. I ain't never seen nothing like it. Hopefully we won't have to see nothing like that again. But that's where we at, man, till we come up with something better. Till we come up with something better than 80-year-olds fighting, 2 old white men fighting. That's America. This is America. This is what you get. This is like our Super Bowl. We wait for this. 2 old white men fighting. Who could do it better? Till we come up with a better system. This is what we got. All right, let's we get to that point, man. I'd like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder. Close out the show in a segment I like to call Hi Dad.
Happy everyday, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflections. Happy October. October is a very colorful month, full of various shades and bright colors of the rainbow. The temperatures are usually pleasant, and you just wear a sweater or a light jacket. Normally, college football games and homecomings are in vogue, and basketball season starts later in the month. I know it is hard for us not being able to go to football games, homecomings, and other large gatherings, but we must be smart and safe. To all of you, have a happy October the best way you can with safety at the forefront of your activity. By the way, October is my birthday month. I am old enough to celebrate the entire month. Happy birthday to everyone born in October. My daughter's birthday is also in October, but she is not old enough for the entire month.
Huh.
Peace and blessings to all. Alpha Papa.
Now that's funny. Hold on. That's funny. That's funny. Man, that guy's funny. All right. There it is, folks. Just a little hour of your time, man. I don't want much. Hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. Who we got tomorrow? Oh yeah. Yeah, just stick around. It's a surprise. I typically don't promote the next day's guest, but always compelling, always fascinating and interesting. So we'll see y'all. Roland Martin, I appreciate you for standing by. I really wanted to get your take on the debates, but we ran out of time. So maybe next time I'll try to get you in there. Everybody else, man, y'all be safe, enjoy yourself, and take care. Oh yeah, and shout out to Delaware State too. Joe Biden's alum, University, Delaware State, HBCUs.